Grand day, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. My name is Chase Steele Greye. So happy to be here with you, as always, with my co-pilot, Mr. Saurel Quettan, and Gio also was joining us today. So happy all of you to be here. We have such an amazing conversation today. I'm very excited to meet this powerful young lady, and she's got a lot of stuff to say. I'm just can't wait. I know she's got a lot of information. But before we do, as always, with a quote or a joke, I have something prepared that speaks to fitness. I came up with a little fitness joke, a little something fun. So I hope you enjoy it. The question is, why is it that an athlete can lift more than a prisoner? Anyone? The answer is, of course they can. The pros will always outweigh the cons. Roll that tape.
That is so wrong in so many levels. So wrong. Oh my God.
You didn't like that one, huh, Gio?
So wrong in so many levels.
Yes, I loved it. Grand day, everyone, once again.
Especially for fugitives like me.
Well, we don't want to talk about your personal life. We love you too much. Grand day, everyone. Once again, welcome to the Daily Huddle. I am Chase Steele Greye, and it's great to be here. Of course, we have all of our lovely high-level thinkers and open hearts on this amazing event that we have every day. And before we begin, I always like to test the temperature, or we like to test the temperature of all the people that are here. And, just ask a question or two, see where everybody is at. So let's see, what do we have here? Who can I speak to a little bit? Let's start with my man, Robin C. Stern. How are you?
Chase?
How are you today, my friend? How are you? And I see where you're in nature. How are you today?
I am exactly the way I say I am, Chase. And I am so freaking amazing that me and my dogs are out doing our thing this morning.
Oh, that is so great. I love the nature thing, man. Thank you so much for being here.
All
Next
right.
up, Miss Andrea. Where are you and who will you hug today?
I am right where I need to be, which is right here, and I'm hugging myself today.
Spectacular. Great plans. You look like you know what you're doing with them. They look amazing. And lastly, Rashida, my great sister. What are you grateful for today?
Oh, I am so grateful. I am so thankful to be your loving sister. Thank you so much for being my brother. I am so grateful.
Don't make me cry. Let me get to...
I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, I am grateful to have met you and to be part of your life and you part of mine. Thank you so much for being so genuine.
Okay,
thank you.
Don't make me emotional. You know I'm an emotional guy. Come on now. Okay, I'll keep it together. So thank you all for being here. And before I get into this great conversation, which is one of my favorite questions in life, right? Are you ready to make change happen? Let me tell you about this lovely woman. Her name is Sabina Moise, and she actually founded the BFIT Consulting LLC. She's committed to advancing fitness and wellness through education, training, and proper exercise techniques, nutritional support counseling, and stress reduction, right? Her personal training will help you to meet your goals, learn to balance a healthy lifestyle. She customizes programs to fit your learning style and offers private or group training. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. Sabina, how are you today?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here today. I am great and so happy to be here.
Good. Excellent. Your hair looks great too. Let me start with that. Even in the blur, I can see your stuff is tight up there.
Yes, it's
Tight up
the bun season.
I like that. I like that. So, if I just looked at the page quickly and said, are you ready to make change? Of course, that's a very open-ended question, and we could go a lot of different places with that, right? But of course, we're speaking more about being fit and having the proper weight and having great tone and definition. And I understand that you've had some ups and downs in this area, right? Through weight loss, being overweight, doing different things. How do you personally unpack that question? Are you ready to make change? What is the direct answer to that for you?
The direct answer to that is yes. Once you say yes to yourself, you started the thought process, because if you don't have it in your mind, I don't believe you can see it in your life.
Yes.
So it's a question to prompt you to say, not this is what other people recommend or suggested, or even my doctor said I should do something different. It's really saying, look inside and say, are you ready? Because it is a big challenge. And you have to start thinking in that path in order for you to see the results.
Right. I agree 100%. 100%. Also, when you say, are you ready to make change? Do you believe that that has to do with you personally making this first step, or you reaching out to someone who is of a higher knowledge to guide you? I think everybody has a different learning style. So if someone said, oh, well, I'm 80 pounds overweight and I can't take it anymore. Today, I'm going to stop eating donuts. I don't know. I'm just making it up. And then they start to move forward. Oh, no donuts all week. I wonder if I'm feeling any better. You know how some people do that? Like, oh, I'm just going to change this, and that's the answer. How do you speak to those people? Or the answer to the first question is, do you recommend, okay, I decide and do some stuff on my own, or reaching out to another person personally?
I personally say start with you, because your voice is what you listen to the most. No matter how many outside sources say this is your time, you listen to that little whisper inside you that says, no, that's not it. This is it. So that's why I firmly believe that when I ask that question, your mind may go in several directions, but I want you to start reeling it in and saying, but what do you want? Is this really where you are today? Because talk is cheap. And I have been experienced in this field for many years to hear a lot of conversations. The conversations might be excuses, but I'm gifted in that I've heard a few. And it always comes back to that change that you want. If you're really ready for it, you've given it some thought. Let's talk about it. Let's hear what that thought process is, because then if you haven't really stopped to ask the finite question, when are you ready to start, then I could start pushing and helping and guiding. So eventually, yes, I do feel that professional help will get you to where you need to be, because it filters out all the excess that maybe doesn't suit your needs and or your style of learning.
Let me ask you a question. It just came up in my head just now. Do you come from parents or examples of health? So in other words, when you were younger, did you come to the point where you felt overweight and out of shape and not in the right place because of your particular environment? Or was it a psychological thing that got into your head and brought you down? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Great question. I
do what I can.
The best of both worlds, actually. My family has, from my experience, my father, he has been a coach. He loves, breathes, eats, sleeps soccer.
Okay.
And my family is from Haiti. So we learn sports, we learn to be outside. And I actually was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And that's a lot of walking if no one's ever been there. And that's just a lot of city movement. But having that family history where at least my father was in sports, I picked up from that. But also there's the fellowship with food. We have a huge family. We have a connection with events and food. And though we were more of a farm to table, cook at home family, there was still that temptation. I'm a foodie. I absolutely love to eat.
Mhm.
So when I went through the transformation of being overweight, being unhealthy, having a message come to me that you have to make a change, I didn't just jump on it. And I learned that I had to go through that process as well
Wait.
in order to help others and
Wait.
understand, help them
Wait.
understand.
Sorry about that. I don't know what just happened. Okay. So, yeah, Haitian people can eat. My dad's second wife was from Haiti. Man, she cooked some good food. I can still taste it in my mouth. Goodness gracious.
Yes.
I'm serious. Like, I'm not even joking. She can really cook. Wow. So that's great. So now where you are today, someone's listening to you right now on this call, I guarantee you, and they want to know the answer to the question. So what are a few things that I can do right now to make change? You've taken the journey already. Can you give me some bullet points that are actionable for the common person to go forward from now? Okay, today I'm deciding. I saw this great woman today on the Daily Huddle, and she said,
I would say that you have to, the best way to start is to be as specific as you can about what your goals are and what they mean to you. To say that I'm going to lose weight just because somebody told me means that you can lose a pound tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. You've reached your goal, but is that really what you want?
Mhm.
If it's a physique transformation that you're looking for, visualize and be realistic. And how do you get into a mind frame where you're realistic? It's really talking to people who have experienced it. It would be wonderful if we could work out for 1 week and reach our goal. Of course, we want to make it a short-term goal that has lifelong benefits, but realistically, if we don't know what to expect after a week, a month, 6 months of training, then the frustration builds up. So that's where we can have a good conversation with people who have experienced it so that we can start creating our plan. So once you do that, you may reach out to a professional like myself and say, okay, this is what I want. And I'm still going to ask you your questions to be very specific, because in order for me to customize a program for someone, I really have to get to understand your needs. And if you don't understand them, then how can you be guided? If you don't know that you have to go to work and you have to take this train or this bus or this path or walk 2 blocks, how do you know you're going to get there? So that's why I definitely encourage a person who comes in and has a conversation with me to have a conversation about what they really want. Have a conversation about how they can make change happen by, are you set up with the right equipment, the right environment? What are your tools? Because we're going to use them to really build on something phenomenal. And the conversation is specific with me. And that's what's so important about getting started.
right. So it's a specific conversation. I totally get that. 2 quick rapid questions. Number 1, what is your current relationship with sugar and salt? Because sugar is a huge thing for people who want to lose weight. Do you consume a lot of sugar, would you say, or a lot of salt, or have you managed them to a point where they're not necessary for you all the time? I always ask people this when I'm speaking to them about weight, because those 2 words are like so ever present in the journey of good health and wellness in a circular motion.
To be completely transparent and honest
Yes.
about my field, I'm in a good place right now. That means that there will be ups and downs. I experience them. Again, I mentioned I love food and I love to cook, and baking is my forte. So I do
Baking, huh?
jump into sugars. To tell a long, short story, I used to cook for my clients, and I used to take foods that we like to eat, cakes and things, and, take out the quote unquote bad sugars and add substitutes and everything. But then it's not the same. I encourage people to learn to have a relationship with food because I had to learn to have that relationship as well. I've had that craving for sugars at times. I've had cravings for salt, but I've cleaned up my diet significantly. I used to be and still am, a bodybuilder and a competitive one.
Right.
And that's a different mindset. You do learn a lot about how your relationship with food ties into your goal. And I don't encourage people to be afraid of sugar because there's a lot to sugar. And it's the more you understand, the better you can be at your meal planning and fueling your goal through food versus simply going with, okay, this is wrong. I'm never going to touch a donut again and I'm going to die miserable. That would not be the case. I have to be an honest trainer and they're going to watch me eat, have a lot of questions. And I'm going to be like, yes, you're going to go forward in your goal, but understand how to enjoy certain things in moderation. Understand what it's doing to your body. And if you choose to do this, a choice you have to honor and respect for yourself. Because I firmly believe I'm an adult, you're an adult. I'm not going to treat you like a child to admonish you and make you feel guilty because that relationship of guilt is very much tied into our food. So let's come away from some of those bad habits and that thought process and try something new. Engage, go forward into your relationship with food versus being shied away from it or afraid because of your lack of self-control and or understanding.
Right.
Let's bring that forward.
Right. A lot of times when I'm speaking with people about weight loss or staying in shape, or people are like, oh, you stay in shape all the time, Chase. What are you doing? You've been in shape for years. And I say, I move. I'm always moving. I'm always walking around the city. I'm biking. I'm rollerblading. I'm always moving. I always tell people, don't tell yourself you can't work out or you don't have time to go to the gym or you whatever. So I'm going to ask you this question. What are 2 things that don't require a gym membership, don't require to leave your house if you don't want to, and or you can leave your house to do these things that can help someone bring their weight down? 2 things that you have done or that you feel are instrumental in like getting those excuses away that people have. I don't have time. I can't afford the gym. I don't have the equipment. I don't know how to eat right. I can't be plant-based. It's too expensive. All these things that people say. What are the 2 things that you would say, these are 2 great actionable things that I think have worked for me?
Number 1, walking. That's something you absolutely can do. And it's low impact for various fitness levels.
Correct.
Number 2 is, for me, dancing. Because I have found you don't have to be a professional dancer. You just have to move from side to side. If you miss the beat, you miss the beat, but it's your dance. But I look at the people who are unable to get out because I do work with seniors who are homebound.
Right. That's why I mentioned that. Yeah.
Yes. I found that what makes it fun makes it feasible. What makes it fun makes it something that's continuous that I don't have to beg you to do. So I find that when you're at home and you don't look at your environment as a workout center, you change your way of thinking about where you are. So if you're going to clean the house, throw on some music and get into it. Don't just, most of us aren't thinking about the energy that we put into the activity that we're doing, but go all in. Right. Listen to that music, jam it out, and then sweep. Your house will be sparkling and you'll feel good. You would have burned calories, you would have got moving, and you just don't want to sit still. That's so true. I have had the blessing of the virtual training. Before the pandemic, I was training people online, remotely. And this advantage of the camera, now I'm going around the house with you. I'm like, oh, you have stairs. Oh, but they're just 2 stairs, but they're a stepper.
Right.
Did you know that the gym has a stepper and here's your stepper at home?
Right.
Oh, you have that chair. That chair is nice and firm. That chair is going to be your workout bench. Place it in a good space so we know that's the chair for the workout bench. Step ups, push ups, dips. So a lot of times it's just that creativity. Look at it in a different way, and you have all the tools that you need at home.
So glad you said that. I was thinking exactly what you were saying. I'm telling you, it was exactly what you were thinking. Before we open it up for some questions, I just wanted to ask you, when you were doing your competitive, well, I'm losing the term. What's it called? Bodybuilding. Did you have like a picture of what you wanted to look like? Did you have someone that you like put on your fridge or on your wall and said, this is the body, I want that body, I'm going to work for that body?
I did. It was in a time that it was deterred to look like a muscular woman.
Oh.
The industry has come a long way.
It has, yeah.
So it's funny. A lot of the women were bodybuilders. I'm a figure competitor because they do have various categories now. But Corey Everson was one of the women, and Linda Murray. I think Linda Murray was an absolute gorgeous icon, especially for African-American women. She had the body, the style, and the grace. And you had to kind of go into the Muscle Fitness magazine for men because the industry wasn't as expanded for women. And when I figured out that we could do this, it was getting done. And that was definitely the encouragement to know, hey, it's possible. So, let's give it our best shot. And what's gonna happen is change. So I'm good with it. I don't have to look exact. I have to look my best version. Correct. So that means whatever I define it to be is change.
I like that. Amazing. Really, really amazing. I want to see if anyone has any questions for you, because I'm sure there may be one or two, because this is great information, and thank you for your honesty and your clarity of thought. It's really, really great. There he is, Mr. Man, the Stern Man has a question.
Yeah, so I love the conversation. I'm 100% with you. I want to live to be really old and still have a lot of mobility, so I'm doing the things now. But what do you say to somebody that comes to you and they have that high blood pressure, they have that thyroid thing that they've been told of, and they're not eating properly, they're not watching anything, and they're just like, well, I've always had this and I'm never going to be better. I mean, how do you have some magic bullet kickstart boot in the ass that works every time to get them to just make a change? Or is there some people you just say, it's in your head, you can't get past that, I can't help you? So, I mean, how would you answer that to somebody who's really looking to help someone, but they just don't seem to want to get out of their own way?
Honesty and transparency. I'd say get out of your way. Because once you say it to yourself, again, that tiny voice is the one you really listen to. Once you say you can't do something, you've already made a decision. And therefore, what would you like me to do?
Yeah.
So if you have decided it's time to make that change happen, I definitely encourage you to look at what that person is doing with them, if you're going to be supporting them, and saying, okay, well, can you go for a 15-minute walk? And if they say no, my training is to help them find something that they will say yes to. If they think I'm going to give up on them, they're going to give up on themselves. So that's why when you come to the professional, it's because they have that knowledge to look outside of the box. So I would definitely encourage anyone who's just, I've always been this, that, or the other, let's put it that way, then say, okay, well, have you tried this? And encourage them if it's something that you like to do. For example, swimming is not something everyone can do. So you can encourage them by saying, okay, let's go in the pool. We're just going to walk in the shallow end back and forth, and then have something to progress to that they weren't doing. And once they feel that success, it motivates, it encourages and inspires to keep going and ask that question of themselves. What more can I do? Like, you're your best science project at this point in time. Let's investigate, let's find out. And that's what my excitement with exercise is, because as nice as it would be to drop 20 pounds overnight or get that svelte body, you'd be amazed at how excited a person is to be able to do 5 regular push-ups, just 5. So I love that excitement, and I help them to tap into that as well.
I like what you
Thank you
said
for the
about
question.
ask them, well, what would you like me to do then? And I like that answer as well. Seems to be very fitting for the person trying to help. It's like, well, if you can't and you aren't and you've always been, then what would you like me to do? Like, how can I be a part of
Yes.
helping you get this going? So I like that.
Yes.
Thank you for that input. Yep.
Amazing, amazing. Saurel J.
Good morning, Sabina, and thank you for being here. And I've got this question. I've been discovering through my chiropractor that nerves play significant role in innervating muscles and keeping them toned and strong. Let's say someone had a pinched nerve and a particular side of their body or portion of their body, arms or legs, are now weakened by the nerve damage. What would you advise them to do about that side or that part of the body impacted by the nerve damage?
I love to work with medical professionals and the information that they provide, the homework that they're given to the patient, hence my client. I use those always because I want to make sure that we're following the format that the medical professional has provided. But apart from that, I work with anything that would help to engage that muscle, that connectivity, and the reactions of that muscle to react, because we have to make that connection in the brain. If there's any nerve damage, depending on the area, the nerve may not regrow, but we can train the brain for the new nerve endings to react. So if that person is having that weakness, there's just rehab techniques that I like to incorporate into the exercise so that that side of the body or that area gets a different type of workout from the rest, because we don't want to neglect the rest of the body just to work on the damaged area. I do work with clients who post-stroke, post-rehab, post-accident. So my experience has been the different therapeutic movements and exercises that benefit that particular body part and creating that muscle memory.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chase, you're on mute.
I knew that, and I spoke anyway. What a life. Florence, you're up next.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to ask what's if you have a special focus on how correct breathing assists people in that journey. Correct breathing, like even in the workout, every movement, all the movements that you make, how important is correct breathing?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that question.
Definitely. I incorporate that because it's always going to be form over function. You can do one great move or 500 wrong ones. So in order to get where you need to be as a full body experience, I do incorporate breathing, proper breathing techniques, proper stretching techniques, proper core techniques, because you can see the results better. And it also depends on the goal. A lot of times, the goal is related to an activity, because again, I work with competitive athletes. So it's important that they make that connection to their movement, to their heart rate, to how they're breathing, to make sure they're taking in cleansing breaths, because if you don't, you're building up lactic acid in your muscle and you're limiting the exercise itself. So as much as I can teach the science of it, I believe it helps a person build a skill, because when I'm not there, I still want you to get better. And you can't, I feel like you can't do that as well if you don't really understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. So if you see a new exercise, because they're coming out with all kind of things that you can do with your body, well, how do you incorporate that into your fit lifestyle, not just into your fit Tuesday? If that makes any sense.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wow.
Because I received recently how important, well, the breath is the life. That's a download I received, that the breath is the life, and the quality of the breath is the quality of the life. So that's
Absolutely.
why I asked that question.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Florence. That was a great question. Really, really great. Well, you know, time has a way of doing what it does to us on our amazing program. But before we go, I wanted to remind everybody about our event. April 12th in beautiful Alpharetta. Beautiful, beautiful there. Been there many times, and I'm happy to be going. This event is going to be a culmination of the people that you see on this call each and every day, different concepts, different viewpoints. You have, I just love each and every person because each person is so unique in their delivery and their information that they have. So please go to the Daily Huddle event.com. It's on August 12th. It is something that I believe will grow and grow as time goes on. So be there now as we are in the stages of just interlocking all these great people together. I think it's going to be an amazing event. And there might be a surprise as well. So we can't talk about that right now, though. Can't talk about that right now. But there's definitely going to be a surprise. So thank you so much. Did I just take myself off the screen? Thank you so much, Sabina, for being here. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm sure that the questions that we asked helped some people, and that's what I really appreciate about what we do here. It's very, very powerful in that way. Also, before we leave, I want to let you all know about the tenets that we always glue together at the end that I believe are great for our lives, great for our forward motion. Number one, live out loud, louder than you've been before. Love harder, right? As we spoke about before, move your body. Your body will thank you, I promise. I do it every day. 4, push yourself to eat mostly plant-based. It's a tricky topic. I know a lot of people feel differently about it, but your body loves to just flow and digest properly through a plant-based diet. I'm telling you, it'll do you no harm. Also, stress less. Stressing less always flows into the body in a different way, and that is a fact, for sure, for sure. Also, when you are thinking about other things to have a better and smoother existence, please sleep more sleep. Your 5 to 7 hours, 8 if you're a super champion. Really, really give yourself that gift. It really, really will help you so much. And lastly, please check yourself before you wreck yourself. And if you can't do that, call up your friend and say, please check me before I wreck me. Please. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. I am so happy to be here on Tuesdays for Health and Wellness. And each and every day we have a different speaker. So please join us again. And remember, August 12th, we're going to see you all in Atlanta. We're going to have a great time, and you won't regret it. I promise. Have a spectacular day and be well. We'll see you soon.
Later on, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye now.
Yeah.